I thought I'd do a video for all the guys that have thin beards and thinning hair on their face, because I've been watching a lot of beard videos and I haven't seen anyone with a beard like mine. And I want to show you that you can grow a decent beard even though you have patchy or sparse spots like I do. I'll show you some pictures of what I used to look like, clean shaven, and then a few weeks of facial hair growth, and to eventually what I have now. So my first tip would be is to resist the temptation to cut it or shave it completely. You'll basically go through days where you absolutely hate it, or it's bothering you a lot, it's itching, but I guarantee you that if you just go to bed and wake up the next day, it'll be a totally different look, it'll feel different, it'll look different, it'll sit differently, and you might just like it the next day. So resist the urge to shave it or even trim it. Now the second tip is trimming it isn't necessarily all that bad as long as it's done correctly. What I used to do was take clippers and just start hacking away at it right here from the corner of my jaw down to my chin, and that's a huge no-no. I watched some beard videos and was advised to start growing these corners out because it's gonna make your beard look thicker. So I stopped using clippers and I started using scissors, and I was very careful in just trimming the flyaway hairs. But also be careful about trimming the flyaway hairs, because those straggly hairs that might be present today are really hairs that are part of your beard and shouldn't be trimmed all that often. So be really careful about that. I haven't had this beard trimmed in about 2 weeks, and I'm probably going to use scissors to trim it eventually. And I'll show you how to do that eventually. My third tip would be try to grow your mustache over your front lip. That way it'll make your beard actually look fuller and more proportionate. I've seen beards where the mustache is cut above the lip, and it just makes the beard look really awkward. You want it to look full from all angles of the face. So from here you can see it's quite full because of my mustache, and because I've started growing in these corners right below my jawline. You can see my jawline right here. My third tip would be try to avoid touching your beard throughout the day. It's okay to just sort of fix it once in a while and play with it for a little bit like I do, but what eventually happens is it starts to become thin. And I've noticed that if I'm at my desk and I'm playing with my beard, especially my mustache, I do this a lot, and I also do this. I'll notice, after 10 minutes, I just have a bunch of hair on my desk. And over time, I've had this beard for about 9 months. That's a lot of hair that just ends up being on the floor. And it starts to affect the look of your beard, and it'll start to look sparse and thin and see-through. Which brings me to my next point. If it's really see-through, you'll want to trim it to the point where it's most dense. But again, be careful about trimming too much. And if that still doesn't work, you can basically wear a black t-shirt underneath. So if you wear a white t-shirt like that, you can sort of see my white t-shirt through. But if you're wearing a black t-shirt, it'll fill those gaps that are transparent. What else can I tell you? So this beard is basically 9 months in the making. It should have really taken only 5 months, because I kept trimming it. I'll show you pictures of what it used to look like every time I trimmed it. So again, just try to resist the temptation to cut it. Let it get all grizzly, and then you might want to consider cutting it. And actually my last tip would be, and probably the most important to getting to this stage, is do not let your barber touch your beard. Because barbers tend to always cut too much. They always want to feel like they've done work on your beard to earn their pay. And by doing so, they simply just hack at it and cut way too much. They make way too drastic changes, because they feel like they need to earn their pay. And so they also don't know your facial structure or what you really want the way you do. So I would encourage you to really look in the mirror and examine your assets. Mine would be right here in my chin area, I think. That's where the hair grows the fastest. And also my mustache. And also analyze your weaknesses. Mine would be my cheeks. And also for some reason this side of my face. And so I really let that grow out. I didn't touch my cheeks or even above my cheeks at all, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 hairs that grow from my little beauty marks or moles. So really examine your face and try to learn how to cut your own beard. And by cutting, I mean trimming ever so slightly. And avoid going to a barber, because they could really just, take off 3 or 4 months of hair and change the way your face looks. So those would be my tips. I suppose I have one more really important tip, and that would be your hair underneath your neck here. I haven't trimmed my neck in about a year. You want your neck hairs to really grow sort of longer than your front, because it's eventually going to go forward and support your beard. Without the hairs underneath your neck, a beard would just look really straggly and thin. So you want to let those grow out, and eventually it'll just blend in with your beard.